Well, hello there, everyone. It's Friday, February the 18th, the year 2022. My apologies. Normally I'd make my videos earlier than this, but it's been a busy day. So hopefully you're doing outstanding. And if you're still a worker, your weekend is about here probably. And remember, subscribe, comment, share the videos. Make sure you click the thumbs up if you like it. Anyway, I'm going to give you a quick update on what Mazke's been doing. Two things today. I think it's just two things I can tell you about. I did just this afternoon sign the paperwork, sign my life away basically, for a loan to purchase one house up in the Windy City. Thank you, Dom, for helping me out with this. And thank you, Jim. And thank you, young man Charlie, for helping me out. Charlie is my attorney, Jim's my real estate agent, Dom's my buddy who's helped me out with this. I appreciate it all, gentlemen. So this house, I am using a lender called Kiavi, K-I-A-V-I, Kiavi, however you say it. And what they're giving me basically, the house I'm getting does need work done. So what they're doing, they're kind of like a hard money lender in a way. It's called a bridge loan. Their internal team came up with what they consider the ARV, after rehab value, and they came up with a dollar figure. And then based on that dollar figure, they will loan at like a maximum of 70%, I think it is, of that dollar figure. And then based on that, they come up with what the rehab is. They come up with the dollar figure. We provided dollar figures to them on the rehab work. They got their own figures they used, which was a larger number. And they subtract that from the loan amount. And then what's left is the amount that they will fund, which leaves me the remaining balance to buy. Between what they'll fund and the balance to buy it, whatever, if I'm saying it right, then that's what I have to pay, okay? And then I got to pay, the typical closing cost and whatnot. So what it is, it's an interest-only loan. They call it basically a hard money loan. They're funding this. And then as I do the rehab work, periodically while the work's being done, or maybe once in the middle, once at the end, or maybe just at the end, I document to them what work's been done. They send an inspector out. And if I pay $10,000, they will reimburse me $10,000 because I'm basically paying for that in the loan I got. That's the amount I got financed for. I'm paying the interest on that. So I spend the money and they give it back to me, basically, if that makes sense. But as soon as the work is done and it passes their inspection, then I can refinance it into a 30-year mortgage, which is what I want because it is kind of like a hard money loan. And the interest rate is 9.45%, I think. It's a hard money loan. But if I get the rehab done in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, well, then I can start the refinance process and get it refinanced and get it down to a more normal rate for an investor, which is probably around 5% to 5.25%, is my guess, somewhere in that range. So, but the house will officially be mine on Tuesday, because that's when the seller is signing. And then Tuesday morning, I got to wire the money up also. So that'll take place then. And then also today, just in recent days, I made a video not long ago talking about self-directed IRAs. I have a self-directed Roth IRA. And so just recently, I was looking at how much cash I had in there. Because what happened is, I get rents. I have a rental house in there, and I got some mineral rights acreage in there. So the money comes in periodically. And as it builds up, I look at it, see how much I got in there. And then one of my mineral rights acreage paid out for the first time, and it was a larger dollar figure than what I have come to expect because it's doing pretty well, and they owed me for like 6 or 8 months worth of pumping. It wasn't a lot. I only had like a small position in it, but it was still more than what I was expecting. And so anyway, that went in there. And I looked at the total and I was like, I'm probably getting close to where I can get another asset in my IRA. So I think it was yesterday I was looking at it and I was like, wait a second. I had this deposit in there for my mineral rights. And what it was about $1,500 for that mineral rights. So it was put in there, it's $1,500 and something. But then I was like, the balance it shows in cash, I'm pretty sure it should be higher than that. And it's not adding up right. So I called the company up and they said, anytime they get a check in, it's a 5-day hold, they will deposit a check of maximum $200 with no hold. Anything above $200, it's a hold. So my $1,500 some check, $200 went into the cash balance account. The rest is on hold for 5 days, and then the cash balance will reflect it. So then I knew what the cash balance would be in 5 days. Also, on another week from now, that $1,500 check came from an early payment from the mineral rights company. The first time a well pays out, they'll pay it on the 10th of the month. And then on the 25th of the month is when they send out the normal revenue check. So on the 25th of this month, I will get 2 revenue checks from 2 different positions in mineral rights. And it won't be a lot of money, probably, I'm guessing $200 maybe, but I don't know for sure. So that'll come in. Then also I verified with my property manager I was getting rent for this house this month, and I was told it's been paid, so I'll get the rent. So I know what is coming in for that. So I was like, bingo, I got enough money in there. So I can probably get something. Then just earlier today, I got an email in from I call it my wealth manager at my mineral rights company, and they have a new position coming out. And I looked at it and I was like, well, cool, because their last position it's a big wig position. It's like minimum investment's like $250,000, and that's above my level. So I can't participate in that one. I don't have that kind of money laying around. So this one was much more reasonable. It was 1 acre of land. Like once you meet the minimum investment of $25,000 with the company, any position you can buy a minimum of 1 acre if you want to, and 1 acre could range in price from $10,000 up to say $20,000, somewhere in that range. Depends on the acre, where it is, and a lot of variables. I'm not going to teach you about mineral rights in this video. So anyway, this one came out and it was like, I think it was like $11,250 for a 1 acre. And I looked through it, and I looked through some of the numbers for it, the expectations for it. And then they sent what they call the map book, and I looked through that because I'm learning how to read these map books now. Understand it's oil and natural gas. So I looked at it and I was like, I think I could swing this. I got a little bit more than that. I had like say roughly 14,000 something in my self-directed IRA, counting the rent coming in and the other 2 things coming in. That might 15,000, something like that. So I was like, well, shoot, I can buy this, and I'll still have say $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 left over. Because remember, we've made videos. You have to keep reserves for houses, have to. And that house is in good shape. It was rehabbed before I bought it, and it was rehabbed again after the first tenant moved out. And I've been in that house. It's a nice little house. It's in pretty good shape. So the current tenant, I think, is taking care of it from what I've been told. But they may be moving out in the spring. And anytime someone moves out, you might have to do something like paint it or something. So, but if say they move out 2 months from now, I get 2 more months of mineral rights payments and 2 more months of rent checks. I have even more money. So if it turned out it was something bigger I had to do, I'd have the cash in there. Because if you have a self-directed IRA with a rental house in there and it needs repairs, you can't yourself just write a check to pay for the repairs. It has to come from the IRA, okay? Now, if you're working and you haven't made your IRA contribution yet for the year, say there is a repair exceeding your cash balance, you could make your Roth IRA contribution, whatever that figure is, $6,000, $7,000, and then that could go ahead and pay it, okay? But I'm not working. So since I'm not working, I can't make that annual contribution into my Roth. So if something happened, say it was something big, just some fluke, and it was $10,000, then what I would have to do is contact buddies of mine that have self-directed IRAs and be like, hey, do you have any cash in there that you could loan me? Because you can loan cash from one IRA to another, or you can make a loan to a person even. But I would ask the loan from their IRA to my IRA, and we could just make a loan. I'd pay interest, but hopefully that never happens, because maybe they don't have cash in their IRA they could loan me. So hopefully that'll never happen. So we'll see. So that's kind of the latest updates. It'll be probably next week sometime when I make that purchase. And I won't actually wire the money myself because it'll be coming out of my self-directed IRA. So they'll handle all that. I'll have to sign some documents and whatnot though. And then next week, when the seller signs that paperwork for the house in the Windy City, that'll be in my name. And hopefully the rehab work will start the very next day. So once again, thank you, Don, for that. So that's about it. All right. So anyway, dinner's cooking. So I'm going to wrap this up. I Going for a swim today. Looks like I got a little sun, but I think I'm just hot. You know, when I get hot, I get a little red sometimes. So I think I'm just hot. The fan's on up there, but today I got in the low 80s and my house is heated up. So my body has to get used to the warmer temperatures again because it did get a little chilly here the past few weeks. Not by northern standards, but by Florida standards, it got a little chilly. And now it's warming back up. Spring is here, buddy. All right, and the canal water is rising. In the wintertime, the canal levels drop, now starting to rise. So when I put the kayak in there, it's much easier to get into because we kayaked yesterday. And I was tempted to kayak in today, but I just had too much stuff to do, and then I was starting to get a little too late. I mean, man, shoot, I could almost put it in there and jump out. If I was a teenager and I lived here, I'd be out in that water every single day. But I'm not a teenager anymore, unfortunately. All right, so anyway, that's enough for this. I need some interviews. So if you want to be interviewed by me, if you want one of my new subscribers, and thank you, new subscribers, if you want to be interviewed by me, not interviewed, if you want to chat with me via Zoom, let me know. All right, so with that being said, Mazske is signing out. Have a safe and glorious weekend and enjoy yourself wherever you are. See ya.